Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats, it's time to consider a Plan B. New York Times. It's time to consider a Plan B in relation or regarding the wonderful former vice president who's such a great person. David, hello. Tony, hello. Cosmic Grandpa, hello. Hidden for Time, hello. Eric, H526, Luke St. Martin, hello. Murray J., I believe I said hello. Lars, hello. Hello, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, check out Bizarro World Goodman. Segment number 6 is out. And Bizarro defends Joe Biden and uses the absurd defense and talking points. I mean, you can't make up the vile, hilarious. You can't make it up. If Republicans had done that, oh my God. And I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm just voting for President Trump because he's awesome. Going up against corrupt intelligence officials that set him up. Bringing home Americans by ending America's longest-running military conflict, which will eventually bring home Americans, which is what I wanted with Bernie Sanders. Of course, Bernie is voting for the same candidate that Max Boot and Bill Kristol are voting for, just like they all did in 2016. Hillary Clinton is going to be nominee. How do we know this? Because I've been telling you since 2017. Share my Huffington Post article below. Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. Time to die, hello. Big Daddy, hello. It's happening, people, exactly the way I said it would happen. Did I not say to you, you just watch, you just wait. Just wait for the New York Times and the Washington Post and all of these publications to come out saying, we need a Plan B. Fleckmeister, hello, thank you. So everyone subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel and also Bizarro World Goodman. But ladies and gentlemen, I told you this would happen. I want to read you the New York Times. At the end of the article, but it is also possible that this won't just go away, and that it will demoralize voters and place Mr. Biden at a disadvantage against Mr. Trump in the general election, despite the fact Mr. Trump has a list of accusers alleging offenses. Yeah, but none went to the police. Only one person, not Kavanaugh, not Trump, only one person has an accuser that went to the police, and there's an active police criminal investigation. And there's a 1993 call-in. And there are records in, either the National Archives or the University of Delaware or someplace within Capitol Hill. But Democrats aren't really, moving heaven and earth to get to those. So, they believe Biden, okay? Believe, except if it's Democrats, then don't believe. For a candidate mainly favored for his presumed electability, who in their right mind? Forget believe, just believe H.A. Goodman. Thank you, Jimbo! Jimbo, thank you. It's happening. Hillary Clinton is going to become nominee, and it's going to be a sight to behold. It will be a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. It will be an amazing, beautiful, just a precious, wonderful thing to see millions upon millions of Democrats say, oh my God, we're doing 2016 all over again. I thought that Bill de Blasio and Eric Swalwell really had a chance. How could they have rigged this primary also? We had 30 candidates. Kirsten Gillibrand almost became president. Oh my God. They were so honest this time around with an app that just miraculously didn't work. Oh my God. Everything was a charade, a farce, a theatrical performance. They cheated Bernie Sanders. The DNC emails forced Debbie Wasserman Schultz to resign in disgrace. Now you have Tom Perez at the DNC saying, oh yeah, we're not going to investigate Biden. There's nothing to investigate. I believe Biden. Jimbo! Oh my God. They were so close. Jimbo, everyone else, they were so close to electing Beto O'Rourke. They were so close to electing Beto O'Rourke. Or maybe they trotted out 50 candidates that had zero possibility of winning under the pretext of simply having a primary that was fair and neutral. Free Assange CJ! Julia Gillard replaced our PM Kevin Rudd shortly after an election as Gillard was unelectable. So it's been done here before. Yes, but she wasn't Joe Biden though. I'm sure because other countries, your country obviously is a more functioning democracy than ours. Although I want Assange to be free and for Australia to defend him, but that's another story. If you look at Biden, however, there is no politician that has his baggage. Thank you, Free Assange CJ. Thank you. Beto could still win. Thank you, Free Assange CJ. Thank you. I think if you look at Biden, he is not just unelectable because of his baggage. He has obvious issues communicating his thoughts. Whatever the reason is, whether it's a shtick or it's serious cognitive issues, everyone knows. Then they try to say, well, Trump is just as bad. Look at what Trump is. He's so stupid. Oh, my God. It's like, no. Democrats and liberal Twitter and social media and Hollywood and the average moral, wonderful liberal who doesn't speak to his friends anymore that happen to vote Trump, these people are their minds have completely melted into just pure contempt for Trump. Thank you, Free Assange CJ. Thank you, Jimbo. Thank you as always. Thank you, Jimbo, as always. To my Australian viewers, thank you. And to my viewers in Nepal, Danaday, everyone, thank you so much. Lars Lundstall, thank you. Lundstall, thank you, Lars. Lars, thank you. To my viewers in every country around the world watching, thank you so very much. YouTube actually helps creators. Lars, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Denmark, beautiful country. Beautiful country, Denmark. In fact, Denmark has a very special place in history. It was one of the only, it was the only country in Europe during World War II to actively, from the king on to the average person, actively protect its Jewish citizens. So God bless the people of Denmark. And I actually have a chapter I have two fantasy novels. They're kind of like existential fantasy novels. One's Breaking the Devil's Heart. One's called Logic of Demons. And they're below in the description, or no, the pinned comment of every one of my segments. And there's a chapter where some really harrowing and beautiful things take place in Denmark. But you can go below in the description section of every one of my segments, and you could see the 2 fantasy novels I wrote, Breaking the Devil's Heart and Logic of Demons. Well reviewed. But that was a while back. But anyway, Denmark's an amazing place. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. It's happening. I'll read you this. I will read you this. Mr. Biden at a disadvantage against Mr. Trump in general election, despite the fact Mr. Trump has a list of accusers for a candidate mainly favored for his presumed electability and perception of empathy and decency. That's a serious liability. To preserve the strides made on behalf of, and to maximize their chances in November, Democrats need to begin formulating an alternative strategy for 2020, one that does not include Mr. Biden. One that does not include Mr. Biden. Mr. Biden was never included. There was never a Democratic primary. The whole thing was rigged. That's why when it all goes down, I will have told you since 2017 in the Huffington Post, Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. The whole thing was a facade. They put a bunch of people up. And they put a bunch of people up who had no chance of winning. Absolutely no chance of winning. Then, when the most electable of all the losers eventually was selected as the last man standing, they said, gosh, we found our nominee, knowing full well that he was not electable. If now they're saying, like I told you they would, maybe we made a mistake. All of this is organic. All of this is just serendipity. None of this was scripted. What do we do now? I have no clue. Gosh, this is just happenstance. I mean, we never intended for this to happen, but that's just democracy in action. All of it is a coinkydink. That's funny how things worked out, isn't it? Nonetheless, we tried our best to find, through meritocracy, the person that could win to be the best representative of our values. We might have to find somebody different. Oopsie. Maybe Cuomo. Oh, I don't know about Cuomo. He did say on March 1st that general risk remains low. How did that work out? God bless the people of New York. Cuomo dropped the ball. That's why you don't really see him going after Trump too much, because he knows that Trump could sink Cuomo's battleship in 2 seconds by, focusing on the record of Cuomo, de Blasio, Schumer. Why is it that they were so inept? Why is it that they were so utterly inept? They were so inept. Bizarro World Goodman, by the way, number 6. It's pretty awesome. Check it out. It's funny. Tell your friends about it. It's funny. People will love it. But the left is tanking and sinking. It took the Titanic 2 hours and 40 minutes to sink. It'll take 7 months or so for the Democratic Party to completely be dismantled before our very eyes. And Clinton is going to lose, but it could be close. I give President Trump a 70 to 80% chance of winning. The 100% prophecy, 100% is Clinton will be the nominee. She lost by 77,000 votes when like 130 million people voted. That's nothing. That's like a little tiny, she barely lost. She barely lost, people. She barely lost. Do you think if you are a football team, if you're the NFL champions, if you are the NFL champions and you have a scrimmage with a junior college team and the junior college team beats you by 3 points, do you want a rematch? And you're the laughing stock of American sports. Do you not want a rematch? And then that junior college team is like talking, you know what? And oh my God, you lost by 3 points to a JC team. And you are the NFL champs. So then what do you say? You spent 3 years. Oh my God, they took performance enhancing. Putin gave them performance enhancing pills, made them superhuman. Putin, it's Russia. Russia's fault. Oh my God, it's Russia's fault. Russia did it. That's the only reason we lost. We would have won if it wasn't for Russia. We would have won if it wasn't for Russia. And that's it. We would have won if it wasn't for Russia. And, oh my God, and this is horrible. And, I told you it would happen. Teresa King! I told you. Free Sandra CJ. What price do they want to swap out? That's the reason. That's the reason. Teresa King, thank you. The reason to have primaries is so they don't Democrats have to, the psychology is the following. They cannot simply cheat or, they're not going to give the script. All Democrats want is a movie. When you go to the movie, all 208 people in the middle of the night watching, thank you. When you go to a movie and you see like a Marvel, Avengers movie, do you say, that's not true, Iron Man can't fly? The Hulk, that's not humanly possible to transform him from the Hulk into, Steve Banner. No. Thor's a myth. It's mythology. You don't say that. You don't say that. Bruce Banner, sorry. You just watch the movie. They just want a movie. That's it. You don't watch Rocky and say, Rocky, you know what? I bet you Rocky loses. You say, oh my God, I'm watching this movie. Or Rocky's going to win. It's all scripted. They're not even fighting, You don't say, oh my goodness, it's just a matter of, they're just, all they care about is special effects. They're not even really trying. They're not flying even. They're not even flying, everyone. It's just special effects. No. Democrats want a film. They want a movie. Hollywood and the Democratic Party are one and the same. So they were cheated. They cheated in 2016. They blamed Russia for notifying the country that they cheated, which is the most hilarious thing of all time. Then they spent 3 years obsessing over Trump working with Russia. Before that, they obsessed over Trump saying both sides, which he never did. Then they said that he never said, he was talking about, if he said conservatives, there are good conservatives who want statutes up, he wasn't referring to the Tiki Torch madmen or the the bigots and the racists. He wasn't referring to them. He never had to. But to Democrats, bigoted Russian operatives swung the election. And you see what they're doing now with Miss Reed and with Biden. They are shameless. They are shameless. They have no shame, and they don't care. Everything they allegedly stood for was only for political utility. That's it. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care about anything but getting back to the Oval Office. Oh my goodness, can you imagine me back in the Oval Office? The people who think that Democrats would never go with Hillary Clinton assume that the Democratic Party is a political party where they have a say in their future. They don't. They don't have a say. They live in a matrix. They live in a predetermined reality, a preordained, predetermined, scripted reality. Oh, my goodness. They don't have a say in what happens in their. They don't have a say in their future. They can't decide their future. That's why I told you what their future would be. In 2017, I told you exactly what would be taking place. Not because I'm like, this amazing, I have a crystal ball, because I know exactly what the Democratic Party is about. It is not a political party. It's a political machine. A political machine finds ways to deceive its voters. And its voters are okay with it. It's just like Tammany Hall. It's just like Tammany Hall, and they live in a reality that they've crafted. You have to understand something. The reason they're looking for Plan B is because they've convinced themselves that Plan A was always a fair primary, which it wasn't. You can look at Iowa, and it took them 5 days or 3 or 4 days to get the winner in Iowa. Why? The whole thing was rigged. They were never going to allow Bernie Sanders anywhere near the White House. Bernie knew this. Why he never joined the Green Party, that's a whole other story. But the whole thing was rigged. I mean, and people still like, well, that's just fine. It was just a problem with an app in Iowa. That makes perfect sense. And nobody asks why this happens. Like, why is this taking place? Nobody asks why. Nobody asks why. They don't ask why. They don't say, well, wait a second. Why was there an app in Iowa that suddenly didn't work? Does that make any sense at all? Does that make any sense at all? Why would an app suddenly stop working? Why would an app suddenly stop working in Iowa? Does that make any sense? Just to ensure that somebody other than Bernie Sanders would win, even though he got the popular vote. Remember the popular vote? Oh my God! Well, the popular vote. There are 3, 4, 5 different alignments, and then you have to get 15%. Then you have to jump through hoops. Then you have to swim through shark-infested waters, and then across a river of piranha, and then juggle bowling pins on fire, and then on a tricycle. And then you have to go and wrestle Andre the Giant, and then you have to skydive and jump out of an airplane going at Mach 2 and fall into a square box, 2 foot by 2 foot square box from 10,000 feet up. And if you do that, then you'll win the Iowa primary. Oops, Bernie couldn't do that. So he doesn't win the first primary, and he doesn't get the momentum needed to really wrap the election up early on. But don't worry, he could still win Super Tuesday. Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah, he didn't craft a message for Democrats in the South, because Bernie never did. He never took his time. He just focused on getting retweeted by people that he couldn't even endorse. The same people who endorsed Bernie Sanders are the same people that got $20 million in venture capital funding, and he couldn't endorse them. Gee, I wonder why. because they wrote something horrible. And he wrote something horrible, but don't expect Bernie to defend anybody. He just likes his nice desk, shiny desk and title, and he likes people loving him, and that's it. That's it. If he really wanted Medicare for all you have to do is join the Green Party. That's it. Free us on Chelsea Jank. Get Fox to ask Donna Brazil live on TV about the leaked answers to Hillary. I believe she already did. I believe she already did. That was either on Fox or CNN. She already. Thank you very much, Free us on Chelsea J. Thank you as always. I believe she did. I don't, you can go on YouTube. I believe she already did. To address those. Krillin876. Do you think Jesse the Body is going to run? I think Jesse the Body Ventura is awesome. I like him a lot. I like Jesse the Body a lot. I think he's great. I don't think he will, but he's awesome. He's awesome. I think that he's great. But yeah, he's awesome. That's when wrestling was really I think that was around a little bit before, I would say, the golden age, where you had Jake the Snake and Roddy Piper and Macho Man, although all of those people were the same era as Jesse the Body Ventura. And then you had Coco Beware, and you had the Junkyard Dog, and then you had George the Animal Steel. That was, yeah. And then you had let's see, a bunch of great. Jake the Snake was awesome. My favorite was Macho. My three favorites were Macho Man. Four favorites: Macho Man, Randy Savage, Jake the Snake, Roddy Piper. I loved. I liked Hulk Hogan. Jesse the Body Ventura. British Bulldogs were great. There's a whole bunch. I can go on forever. A whole bunch now. Stone Cold Steve Austin in the new era. I like Stone Cold Steve Austin. But Fox on the Run, awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, Valerie Rogers, you forgot they had the Hokey Pokey. Was that a wrestler? Hokey Pokey? I don't think so. What can I say other than repeat myself every second of every day? I don't know what else I could say other than I don't know. It'll be very interesting. I'm a fan of this. Even I'm a fan. Mankind. Oh my God. Mankind and The Undertaker. One of the most insane moments in television history. I'm going to watch this right now. Falling off the top of the steel cage. Hell in a Cell. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is something like, it's just, it's on. I like Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase was good too. Oh my God. Let me watch this right now. Oh my God. This is just nuts. And how did he fall from that height right onto the table? I just, and his head was underneath the table I'm watching right now. Oh my God. 9 million views on WWE. No doubt. No doubt. That is more enjoyable to me, infinitely more enjoyable than politics. There's more heart, more soul. The athleticism is unbelievable. You know, it is true, like, the athleticism, you're talking about, you take the NFL, NBA, you take the Olympics. The athletes, the wrestlers are, up there in terms of the elite athletes in the entire planet. They really are. Fears on Joshua today, Rodney Pipers. They live is about the deep state. Check it out. Thank you. Insubordinate hello. Wow. Fox on the run. Wow. Yeah, there's so many injuries. So many long-term injuries. Splashless, hello. So, yeah, I mean, let's just continue reading from this New York Times article. New York Times today, like I said, is slowly trotting out the idea, slowly introducing, presenting the alternative facts, the alternative reality that Democrats claim only Trump supporters live by. They're the ones who create their own world. And then you have Miss Reed's account is not nearly as credible as some of them. Really? In the course of my reporting, I've worked closely. What? How is that? How is it not credible when you have a police report and you have a 1993 call-in, and then you have Biden, who is known to do weird things? So this author makes the claim, Miss Reed's account is not nearly as credible. Oh, incredible. Sorry. My apologies. She said not nearly as incredible. Okay. So, they're stuck now. Every day you've had 3 articles in 3 days. You have had 3 articles in 3 days. The first one was Hillary's, what was it? As Biden campaign fails, Hillary Clinton awaits in the Hill. Then could Clinton and President Obama be a ticket? Now it's Democrats. It's time to consider Plan B. I know the way they work. They slowly reverse course, and they slowly introduce, okay, you know what? We can't win. We cannot win. That's the whole thing. We cannot win, and so we're going to have to go back to old reliable. We're going to have to go back to H.A. Goodman's prediction in 2017. And by the way, there were people on the left, pundits, we'll wait until after the election, who were saying, oh, yeah, Clinton thinks that, H.A. Badman thinks that Clinton's going to be nominee. You don't go to Al Capone. You don't ask why the speakeasies are run by Al Capone. You don't say, gee, what's the deal with Al Capone? And him, why doesn't he just go away? It's like, before the tax evasion, he's not going away until they force him to. Otherwise, a person with immense power, whether it's Al Capone or Hillary Clinton, they ain't going away. They're going to continue. If you can continue to do something, why do you think the Clintons have, the Clintons are worth hundreds of millions? Let's see. $95 million. A name. Okay, so hold on. No, this is fact check. Okay, it's factcheck.org. Factcheck.org. Go ahead. Clintons never had a business in their lives. Over $100 million. And they were worth $480,000 before running for president. That's a pretty good, it's pretty lucrative. You have 480 grand in the early 90s, and then you have 100 million afterward. You never had a business in your life. And any endeavor you tried to get in Whitewater just was, just was a big controversy and scandal. But you know how it goes. $500,000 from a Moscow speaking engagement. Nobody talks about that. Uranium One giving money to the Clinton Foundation. It's not a big deal. You can't prove anything. Democrats you can't prove anything. That's their motto in life. So they made $153 million in speaking. Oh, this is interesting. How Bill and Hillary Clinton made $240 million in the last 15 years. Was it real estate? Was it business? Was it a reality show? No. It was just selling themselves, which has a word for politics. Since Bill and Hillary Clinton, this is Forbes, since Bill and Hillary Clinton left the White House in 2001, they have turned political fame into personal fortune, raking in more than $240 million, according to a Forbes analysis of 15 years of their tax returns. $240 million. Did they start a tech company? No. Did they start any company at all? No. Bill made most of the money, earning $189 million. Giving speeches, consulting private companies, and advising billionaires. And it's not the speeches. It's not the speeches. Okay. Madam Secretary and her husband had $153 million in speeches. It's not the speeches. It's the access. It's the networking. You don't hire Madam Secretary for her vast knowledge of foreign affairs so she could talk about Libya and the failed NATO intervention. You don't talk about, when you have the Clintons near you, then you just talk about, hey, there's this project, that project. Maybe you can hook me up with this individual, that individual. The Uranium One sale is a very interesting story. You have a whole look what $10 billion was raised in Haiti. How did the Clintons benefit? Because it was a giant networking function. Unfortunately, they turned tragedy into a networking function. They have all the names of all the people who handle business or charitable decisions, philanthropic decisions for companies and organizations and wealthy individuals. So I remember once I got into a debate with somebody. When I don't have a Twitter account, but it's just always constant nonsense. And this guy was a Politico. He published an article in Politico about Haiti. He's like, "Oh, I've been critical of the Clintons, but they didn't steal any money." It's like, no, you didn't see a duffel bag full of money, like a Monopoly, like Clinton's, like the guy in the Monopoly board game. There are other ways they benefit. It's called honest graft. Tammany Hall, they used to call it honest graft. They set up charities, and then they have all the decision makers in terms of philanthropy, whether it's individuals, billionaires, corporations, and then, miraculously, the people of Haiti don't get the money. But guess who still keeps the Rolodex? Bill and Hillary. Not rocket science. Well, you have no proof that it ever happened. Well, you know what? considering that the Steele dossier was utilized that was made up, filled with not only inaccuracies, they used that in addition to 17 falsified statements within FISA warrants to go and within one FISA application to go after President Trump. But people suddenly, the left can't put two and two together. Why you have all different people from all different walks of life and all different corporations from all different industries funneling money into the Clinton Foundation, and then just suddenly miraculous, suddenly beneficial treatment takes place. You can't prove anything, and it certainly has nothing to do with a private server with top secret intelligence and classified data that 30,000 emails were deleted. Every one of those emails is government property because she mixed classified, top secret, special access program intelligence with yoga emails. Guess what? They weren't about yoga. They were almost certainly about the Clinton Foundation. I talk about that in But Her Top Secret Emails, But Her Deleted Emails, and Debunking the Trump-Russia Myth on Amazon. If you have Kindle, buy those books. But you have the New York Times today, ladies and gentlemen, and they're ramping it up. Thank you, Joshua. Joshua Brenner, hello. Loud Citizen. You know, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, they are slowly ramping it up. And when it happens, be here on this channel. Let everyone you know, or tell everyone that you know that Clinton is going to become nominee. Hillary Clinton 2020, get ready for 8 years of Trump. Here's the article. Share it if you can. Everywhere. Why is it not allowing me? I'll give you the article in a second. But share it if you can. If you're still on social media, go ahead and share that. And if you look at what's taking place, ladies and gentlemen, things are heating up. They're slowly heating up. Spies like us, hello. It's slowly heating up, slowly ramping up, and you kind of see what's taking place. You kind of see that, at the end of the day, they don't have a choice. All of this, by the way, is predicated upon the absurd notion that Democrats actually have a choice. That not everything is predetermined. They have to live by this viewpoint that it's okay. We could definitely, pick our, ladies and gentlemen, Clinton is going to get deposed or she'll testify in deposition. That's irrelevant. That's just all of this, the Durham probe. I think Trey Gowdy is going to be wrong about that. The Durham probe, the email deposition, all of this will be big issues after the election, more so than before the election. But if you type in Joe Biden, let's see Joe Biden. Let's see. So, it's only negative stories, and it's May. We're in the beginning of May. At what point do people realize it cannot be Biden? At what point do people realize it cannot be Biden? And then you get this nonsense. George W. Bush calls for an end for partisanship, and Trump was mean to him. George W. Bush was the worst president we've ever had. He's the one who got us into never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. He's the one who used failed intelligence to create never-ending conflict that upended, just obliterated countries. That's the reason we've been 20 plus years, or 20 years now, in regions of the world we should not be in. I'm trying to not get too specific because it's a YouTube live stream. But people lost their American soldiers and their families. We have hundreds of traumatic brain injuries, hundreds of thousands of traumatic brain injuries, PTSD. We have so counterinsurgency wars where we told the United States military to, take over a city, then it would fall to adversaries, and then we have to take over the same city again. And that happened numerous times. And he had the most flawed, miserably failed foreign policy vision that affected the lives of millions upon millions. They tried to pin the current crisis on Trump. It's like, no, he's not a governor of New York, Michigan, or New Jersey. Those three states, and God bless the people in those three states, account for over half of the lives lost. But Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld were the worst. And so you have this is Bush who ran on a marriage amendment. Karl Rove crafted the marriage amendment so he could win re-election. Then it was the "you're with us or against us," and now he's calling for unity. Unity. And they love George Bush. I don't know what it is. Well, actually, I kind of do. Max Boot and Bill Kristol and all of these neoconservative theorists or scholars, they're the ones who helped craft the miserably failed foreign policy of the Bush administration. So they think he's just great, George W. Bush. Because, he's civil. He's not a reality star. He's a good person. We can work with somebody like this person. He loves the intelligence community. Tell us more about the wonderful intelligence projections and the intelligence assessments that got us into this never-ending conflict, similar to the Gulf of Tonkin. When has the wonderful intelligence community that Democrats revere and Bush Republicans revere, when have they been right about a major issue? I want to know. Even before these agencies got started, Pearl Harbor was an intelligence failure. Then you had the Bay of Pigs. Then you had the Gulf of Tonkin. Then you had Bush's failed foreign policy. Teresa King! Sorry, my brave warrior, Mr. Goodman. Let's not forget. Yeah, well, that's been reported by Fox News. Teresa King! Democrats are that issue, so many issues. There's an endless stream of reasons or controversies. And the hilarious thing is, like, that you look at the 30 million people unemployed now, and Democrats like, oh, you just want a haircut. It's like, where is it? Is it you are like absolutely rich and wealthy if you're a Democrat? Is that a prerequisite to being like? Do people not understand that the average American needs to work? Do they not understand it's not about a haircut only? It's maybe about feeding your children. Not everybody has 10 gallons of ice cream like Nancy Pelosi. So it's like really interesting. Like, they don't view, they've had to, the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, is this. They don't have anything on Trump. They've made up everything about Trump. They don't have anything. President Trump never had the failures of Bush or the failures of NATO and the Flint water and everything that took place under President Obama, Standing Rock, mainly the NATO intervention. They don't have any failure like that. Okay? They don't have any failure like that. They don't have anything that you can point to and say, okay, Trump, this is Trump's fault. He did this. All they have are policy differences that any Republican, they say, well, no, the Republican would do this or that. Yeah, they would. Yeah, they would. A lot of Republicans would. They're just consumed with his personality. They can't stand his personality. That's it. You take the worst mistakes and blunders and failures of Bush and President Obama, compare them to President Trump. It's not even a comparison. They're infinitely worse. The NATO intervention alone in President Obama's administration, Trump did not destroy a country or obliterate a country. President Obama, Clinton, and Biden did. And neither Bush, and we don't have to get into the failures of we don't have to get into the failures of the Bush administration, which are endless. So we don't have to get into it, but you check the accomplishments, the success stories, the achievements. Trump has achieved more in less than 4 years than Bush or President Obama in 16 in terms of foreign policy and also in terms of the economy. We had record low unemployment until recently. Well, the good thing, though, is that at least 5 million Democrats voted during the pandemic that they said was the end of the world. Ever wonder why 5 million Democrats voted? Ladies and gentlemen, Joe, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to my super chat. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you all. And thank you all for watching. And I will be back tomorrow. I have a segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second, so check it out. And subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, to Bizarro World Goodman. We have a segment number 6 up on there. Thanks, everybody. God bless. To my super chat, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.